You are listening to Greg and his friends talk sports. 10 to 20 minutes every day, Greg and his friends are talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about. Every day on the Central Indiana Sports Report.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, Central Indiana sports fans. Whenever you've tuned in to Greg and his friends talk sports, we are so happy to have you. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt, and this is my new podcast, 10 to 20 minutes every day, talking about what Central Indiana sports fans are talking about. Coming up, we have new college and high school basketball polls. Michigan is the new number one in college basketball. Just so happens that the newly minted top-ranked Wolverines are in West Lafayette tonight. Coming up here in just a second, I will preview that one with my friend Jake Dunn. Lots of boys basketball on Tuesday night in Central Indiana. We will look ahead to that. I spoke with my friend Yorktown head coach Justin Ullom about the matchup with his former team, Muncie Central, tonight, and talked to him about his team, which is on a 5-game winning streak. Before we get to all of that, I want to let you know what's going on at the Central Indiana Sports Report. On Monday, we released a Fever report and a Pacers report, plus our first Major League Baseball report of the year. Early Tuesday, we released our IU report with Grant and Mike. And on Wednesday, Jake will be back to break down Purdue, Michigan on our weekly Purdue report. Please join us for all of it. Thanks so much for joining me and my friends. We'll be back tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the day after that and the day after that. So Michigan is the new number one after previously unbeaten Arizona lost its last 2 games. Surprisingly, the first time Michigan's been number one since 2013. Arizona fell to number 4 behind Michigan, Houston, and Duke. Number 2 Houston and number 3 Duke both played on Monday night. Houston lost a 10-point lead in the final 5 minutes and lost 70-67 at Iowa State. And Duke beat Syracuse 101-64 Monday night behind freshman Cameron Boozer's 22 points and 12 rebounds. He scored his 22 points on 10 attempts in just 22 minutes. Man, I'd love to see him with the Pacers. Purdue's up to number 7, the largest jump in the nation, up 6 spots from number 13 after winning at Nebraska and at Iowa last week. That, of course, sets up the big one tonight in West Lafayette. The top-ranked Wolverines against the 7th-ranked Purdue Boilermakers at Mackey Arena. Purdue's won 4 in a row. Michigan has won 10 in a row since its only loss of the season. That was at home against Wisconsin, meaning that Michigan is unbeaten on the road this year. Vegas favors Michigan by 2.5 points, even in West Lafayette. ESPN Analytics says Michigan has a 52.2% chance of winning the game. I say Purdue's going to win this one, and they're going to win the Big Ten. What do you say, Jake?
Once again, Greg, I love your optimism. I still, Michigan's one of the best teams in the country. Well, I'm looking at KenPom right now. They have the 4th ranked offense and the 1st ranked defense according to KenPom. They rebound pretty well offensively. They're ranked 24th in the nation in that, and I mean they are 2nd in 2-point percentage, 90th in 3-point percentage, shooting 35% from 3. So they've got a really, really good offense. You talk about defense. They've got size across the board. They typically switch 1 through 4 on defense, and that can help really shut down some of the actions that opposing offenses try to run. So sometimes we've seen Michigan kind of lose focus. They sometimes have streaky shooting and can they can be known to coast sometimes for 10 to 15 minutes, allowing opponents to take advantage. Kind of sounds like Purdue a little bit, but they've just got a pretty stacked roster, and going to be a tough game here for the Boilermakers.
I think it's a good matchup for Purdue, Jake. I think that Michigan's front line is a little better than Purdue's, but pretty even, right? And then the backcourt, I think Purdue is better. Now, don't get me wrong. On its best days, Michigan's back. When those guys are playing well, they're impossible to beat. They'll run anybody out of the gym. But they're vulnerable. I said, I think last time, it reminds me of Auburn a few years ago when they had Jabari Smith. They also had 2 really talented guards who just like to shoot. And sometimes that's what happens with Michigan's guards. They got the best players in the country underneath, and their guards like to take the majority of the ball possession. So I think that's a key. Got to keep the ball out of the middle.
For sure. Got to win the possession game, slow it down a little bit, run your offense, force some turnovers on defense, win the rebounding margin. Those are all kind of go hand in hand. Make your shots, obviously. To your point, Greg, you got to force the team to take jump shots, especially Axel Lindenberg. He's an okay jump shooter, but if he gets downhill, good luck stopping him. So Michigan can kind of blitz you pretty quickly on the offensive front. They can score, they can go on 10-0 runs in a blink of an eye, kind of like Purdue can. You've got to make sure we protect that. Mara, the 7-footer, he was on UCLA last year, transferred to Michigan. Braden Smith was kind of able to take him out of the game, last year with foul trouble and just kind of doing different things offensively. So if we can kind of force him to be uncomfortable, keep him in drop coverage, things like that. And I think just prevent easy fast break points, be ready to shoot, and let Braden Smith cook. I think that's pretty much most of those things need to go right for Purdue to win this game.
I think Michigan might have 3 of the best 20 big men in the country. That's good.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty fair assessment there.
I really like Johnson. I think Lindenborg and Mara get most of the attention, but Johnson kind of does the dirty work. And, man, that team's going to be tough to beat. But you know what? I think this team's playing awfully well at Purdue, and I think they might be on their way back to being the best team in the country.
Yeah, I hope so. And obviously, if they can beat the newly minted number 1 team in the country, I think that goes a long way to support your claim. So guys like Morez Johnson for Michigan, I mean, he's 6'9", 250 pounds. He's a sophomore, averaging 13.5 points, 7.3 rebounds, 1.2 assists, and 1.2 blocks. And he's just a high-energy guy. He's physical, and he's gotten a lot better from his time at Illinois last year. That's 2 players that we've mentioned, by the way, that transferred from fellow Big Ten teams, which that's just I just don't like that at all. So me too.
Sit out 2 years to transfer within the conference.
They should bring that back.
I don't disagree. Man, I'm excited about this one.
If Purdue can pull off this one, I may be all the way back to the preseason highs in our confidence meters. I've seen Michigan come in and beat Purdue in Mackey. I've also seen Purdue come in and kind of blitz Michigan and really, not really making much of a game. So, I think the range of outcomes is pretty vast.
Hey, you know what happened when Magic Johnson brought his number 1 Michigan State Spartans to Mackey Arena in 1979?
What happened, Greg?
They left with a loss. They went on to win the national championship over Larry Bird, but they left Mackey Arena with a loss, and that's exactly what's going to happen to this number 1 team tonight. Jake, thanks for your time. Appreciate it as always, and Boiler up.
Yeah, thank you. Boiler up.
Also on Tuesday night in the Big Ten, number 9 Nebraska is at Iowa. Michigan State fell to number 15 and hosts UCLA earlier on Tuesday night. Illinois fell to number 10 despite beating IU by 20 on Sunday. Big Hummer House and the Illini lost to Wisconsin at home last Tuesday, and they are in LA to face USC Wednesday and UCLA Saturday this week. Also Tuesday, the number 22 Miami Redhawks put the nation's only unbeaten record on the line at 15-11 UMass. 25-0 Miami is led by Carmel's Pete Suter and Fisher's Justin Kirby. They combined for 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. Also in the MAC, 8-17 Ball State is at 13-13 Ohio. It's 7 at Athens. Miami has more of a Indiana influence on their team than Ball State does, and maybe that explains why both teams are where they are in the standings. New polls in high school boys basketball as well. Unbeaten Fisher still on top of the single class coaches poll, all 22 first place votes. 51 straight regular season wins for the Tigers. They're followed by Silver Creek, Crown Point, Pike, Plainfield, Lawrence North, Mount Vernon, Carmel, Cathedral, and Northridge. The number ones in the USA Today media poll: Fisher's got all 18 first place votes in 4A, Silver Creek all 17 in Class 3A, Paoli got 12 of the 17 in Class 2A, number 2 Oak Hill got 4, and number 3 Westview 1. And in Class A, unbeaten Kouts got 16 of the 17 first place votes, number 22 Bar Reeve got the other one. Locally in 4A, Mount Vernon is ranked 4th, Carmel 8th, Hamilton Southeastern 12th. 3A, Cathedral is 2nd to Silver Creek, Guerin Catholic is 9th. In 2A, Oak Hill 2nd, Shenandoah 11th, Frankton 12th, and Lapel 14th. Somehow, because they've beaten number 11 and number 12 this year, just beat number 11, Shenandoah, quite easily. And in Class A, Southwood is 5th, Rossville 7th, Liberty Christian 8th, and Monroe Central is 10th. Looking ahead to Tuesday's games, we start, as we always do, with the conference that was nice enough to name itself after this podcast. That, of course, is the Central Indiana Conference. 2A, number 12, Frankton is 15-4 and has won 8 in a row. They host Daleville tonight. The Broncos are 3-14, should be the 9th straight win for the Eagles. We'll have a full report on the game later Tuesday night with head coach Brent Brobston. 5-12, Tipton goes to 2A, number 2 Oak Hill. The Golden Eagles 16-1, and Eastbrook is 10-8. They go to 5-14 Wabash. Also in Madison County, 11-7 Anderson hosts 11-8 Shortridge. And in a Hoosier Heritage Conference, 14-4 Pendleton Heights hosts Newcastle. The Trojans have won 3 in a row. Pendleton has won its last 2 after a 2-game losing streak and could finish as high as 2nd in the HHC. In Howard County, 14-5 Kokomo looks for its 8th win in a row at home against 7-11 Metro. The Wildcats won the NCC on Friday by beating Richmond 59-43. And 5-13 Clinton Prairie's at 12-7 Eastern. The Comets have won 5 in a row and 10 of their last 11 behind the hot scoring of Colton Lindsay. In Hamilton County, 15-3 Sheridan hosts 8-11 Western Boone. The Blackhawks have won 7 of their last 8, including a 58-57 win over Carroll on Friday night to clinch the Hoosier Heartland. And 11-7 Westfield host 13-6 University in an inter-county game. Lots of games in Delaware County on Tuesday night. 7-10 Burris goes to 4-13 Southern Wells. The Owls have won 5 of their last 9 after a 2-6 start. 9-9 Wapahani hosts 12-8 Bethesda Christian. 11-8 Delta is at home against 7-12 Rushville. Delta's won 7 of its last 9. And 10-7 Muncie Central goes to 11-7 Yorktown. Muncie Central's won 3 of its last 4 and beat Anderson 65-63 on Saturday. Yorktown has won 5 games in a row. I spoke with Tigers head coach Justin Ullom about his team late Monday night. Well, Coach, 5 wins in a row, and none of those 5 were against bad teams.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a good run for us. You know, I hesitate to say that we haven't played well earlier in the year, because we certainly did, but we've put some complete games together.
What's it been that's made your team so successful as late and, as you've said, play well throughout the season?
I really think the difference is guys have started to believe. Early in the season, we were, as coaches, just I think frustrated that we believed in what we could achieve, but that we weren't sure the players believed it, and there was some timidness or indecisiveness in games, especially maybe in some bigger moments or second halves, and we just kept at it, kept preaching our belief in them. And I think it generally takes one good win or one nice showing to kind of get over that hump, and I think we've done that here in the last month.
It seems like it's a team with pretty good balance, not only scoring-wise, but through your grades.
It is. We got a sophomore that starts and plays a lot of minutes, great junior class, and then 4 seniors. Fortunately, Connor Rogray has been out for the year with some health issues, but he's a big part for us, a smart kid, and seeing the game from a different perspective and helping us really as coaches at this point. But a lot of balance. We certainly have a couple of go-to guys in the big moments, but on any given night, we can have some guys step up and lead us.
And looking ahead at the sectional just a few weeks away, that has to be our goal. It looks like it's kind of wide open.
It is. It's going to be a fun one. I really think any of the six of us could string 2-3 wins together and win that thing. It's been a round robin of who's beat who so far, but yeah, that'll be a fun week.
Yeah, that was a big win over Jay County on Saturday.
Yeah, it was great. Guys played well, really, for 4 quarters, and I thought we really put it together.
Seems like you're pretty happy with your first year at Yorktown.
Yeah, it really has been a good fit. The biggest thing that I would say that brings you joy as a coach and allows you to enjoy it is the guys are so connected. Like we were joking as coaches just this week. It's like after practice, we're sitting in the office, like waiting on guys to come out, and they're just in the locker room having fun, sitting around talking. And so we really have a pretty close-knit group. And as you know, that helps you not only on the floor, but it just helps you feel good about what you're building.
And on Tuesday night, a team you're familiar with, Muncie Central, of course, you coached last year. Most of the kids from last year's team back this year. Do you have mixed feelings going into it, or how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I mean, not mixed feelings. It's been fun to watch a lot of film and scout them over the weekend here, and just see really the success and the growth of so many of those guys. The freshmen became sophomores, and the junior class became seniors, and it's good to see them doing well. I have not mixed feelings, but certainly going to be an interesting night early. Just seeing so many kids you have good relationships with and spent some time with. And so, while I want them to do well and go, I'm expecting it to be a tight and competitive game.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it as always, and we hope to catch up with you a little later down the line.
Yep. Thanks, Greg. See ya.
Thanks so much to Jake and Justin for joining me. Before we leave today, want to give you a couple of Olympics updates. The American women's hockey team beat Sweden 5-0 early Tuesday to earn a medal and will face Canada for the gold on Thursday at 1:10 p.m. locally. Canada beat Switzerland 2-1 earlier Tuesday. The U.S. men will face either Sweden or Latvia in the quarterfinals on Wednesday at 3:10 local time. Americans finished first and third in the new Olympic event, the women's mono bobsled. Elena Myers-Taylor won the gold, and Callie Humphreys the bronze. Weather caused disruptions to the snowboard and aerials competitions, and on Tuesday, figure skating returns with the women's short program, and the two-man bobsled finals are at 3 this afternoon, but I'm really loving the speed skating. Thanks so much for listening. Please remember, we'll be back tomorrow, and the next day, and the day after that. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.